Hi, I'm Yvette Nieto. I'm the San Benito Housing Authority Executive Director, also the Senior VP for Texas NARO.
Oh, hey everybody, this is Jim Morris. I work for Dynatouch. I'm one of the sponsors, exhibitors here. We do the self-service kiosks, the Housing Authority, so I just thought I'd jump on, see if I can get educated.
Nice
Learn
to meet you.
something.
Nice to meet you, Jim.
Yeah, we're so glad you were able to join us. I did notice that they are a first-time vendor with us this year. We are so glad that you joined us for our first virtual conference.
Yeah, no, thanks for having us. Thanks for allowing us to come on.
Definitely a learning experience for all of us. So
Yeah.
we've got a good Texas crew. They're a very strong chapter, and they're a very fun group. I'm not just saying this because Texas is my home, but they are one of my favorites.
Yeah, we're based in Texas too, so I'm in Austin, but we're headquartered in San Antonio, so it made sense. Well, obviously to participate.
That's awesome.
Thank you. Thank you. We also have Lucia Jaramillo. Lucia also works for the San Benito Housing Authority. If you're near your desk, Lucy, say hi.
Hello, I'm just being shy. Yes, I'm with Miss Yvette, also in San Benito.
Oh, I'm so sorry. In what position are you, Sia?
I'm the procurement specialist.
Yvette, why don't you kind of tell us a little bit about your experience in leadership with Texas NARO and even in your housing authority? I know that you've kind of changed locations too. Well, let's just hear your story.
Well, I started in Texas NARO back in 2009. I joined the Professional Development Committee. And from there, because I just like to volunteer and say, okay, I'll do that, I've had the pleasure of serving on several different committees at Texas NARO. I had the pleasure of being voted Senior Vice President, I think last year. I'm so lost with COVID. So I right now serve at that capacity for Texas NARO. And it's been a little bit different. We haven't been able to see each other as much as we usually have, but I think that we're still plugging along, doing good things for the state and also as well for the industry and at a national platform. I came here to the San Benito Housing Authority in 2017. I was at a really, really small housing authority prior to that, and moved back home. I'm originally from the Valley, the Rio Grande Valley, and so when the opportunity came along, I took it. And we're doing really good things here. I mean, we're getting ready to close on a RAD transaction. We just put up 8 new units of public housing, and we're moving our agency in different direction. So I'm really excited about the good stuff that we're doing here in San Benito.
Well, and kind of tell us a little bit of what made you decide to step into a leadership role. I know that you were Senior Vice President of Texas NARO, and also you're currently the Senior Vice President of our regional Southwest NARO Professional Development Committee as well. So what kind of made you decide to keep climbing the ladder in NARO?
I think it's because I was a fangirl. Every time I would go to a meeting, I would see people like Naomi Byrne, Bernie from Odessa. I would see Mark Thiele from Houston. And, I would see them in their leadership positions, and it would inspire me to want to move up and do more. So I was very fortunate to have a board that supports me whenever I go out to try to do new things within the region, the state, or even at the national level. And I like it because I think that it makes a really big impact. I serve on the Professional Development Committee for Southwest NARO and also for National NARO. And I think that the courses and the education that the organization provides is impactful to advancing your career. And so that's what makes me want to do more. I want to be able to have an impact on the people that work within our industry, give them the tools so that they can advance in their careers, and give them the tools so that they can make good decisions.
Well, that is awesome. Yeah, we definitely, you've definitely been around for a long time. So what are some of your goals that you may have for Texas NARO when you do step in to become president? Like, what do you kind of see? I mean, I know COVID is crazy right now, but maybe like share with us some of your leadership goals you have for the future with Texas NARO.
Obviously, I would like to increase membership. I think that a lot of people don't realize the value of Texas NARO because we do have two different housing associations in our state. And I'd like for people to realize that Texas NARO offers you professional training. We offer you professional services, and and the networking that goes with that. I know a lot of times people will ask me, because when I was in a really small housing authority, they would ask me, well, how did you get to the national level? How is it that you're serving at a committee, and we can't even get started? And the thing is that you really have to just start out at your state level, and if you want to get up on a regional committee or a national committee, be willing to put in the work and the time at the state level. My other goal would be to provide more professional training. I know right now we've had to kind of deviate, but in years past, Texas NARO has always put out really good, strong professional training from strong training professionals. And I think also that one of the things I'd like to see different in our conferences is to add a little more after 5 activities. I think sometimes we kind of lack on some of that, and I think that's why a lot of people choose the other organization. But I think if we modeled ourselves after what National NARO does and do an after 5, little dance party or a book reading or something to keep people engaged and entertained, I think that, would be a big benefit. So those are the things I'm going to try to work on when I step up to take the leadership position with Texas NARO.
Awesome. Well, I just want to take a chance. Does anybody have any questions for you that so far? Does any of our Donna Touch, do y'all have any questions for us? Since y'all are the new guys, we'll put y'all on the spot here.
I certainly have some questions because we're talking to so many executive directors and we're hearing a lot of their unique challenges during COVID. So we're hearing about the challenges of trying to understand how to safely reopen lobbies, how to safely handle paperwork, recertification packets, how to pass back and forth documents, like if they're going to have a proof of ID, or if they're going to have a birth certificate that needs to be handled and then given back. All this transfer of paper, right, are things that we're hearing concerns about. And so, so the thing that I'm always listening for is what are other authorities doing about that, and how are they allowing people safely back in the lobbies, or have they even opened the lobbies? Because many have not. Many are transitioning to start to do it. So I guess that as a general question or just general topic, that's something I'm interested in, because we many times, Jim and myself are in the position of being able to kind of, spread around kind of best practices and things we're hearing that others are doing as well.
So we have, I'm probably one of the very few housing authorities that we really haven't shut down our operation at all. I think we only closed for 2 weeks because our county mandated that. So actually we kind of started planning for how we would start doing our operation back in March, and that was just me watching the news feed. But we opened our lobby. We closed our lobby for probably about 3 weeks, and then opened it back up in March. I mean, in May. I'm sorry, and we've kind of, I think we have a pretty good system in place. Right now, our Section 8 department does everything via email, so there is no transfer of paper. Our public housing staff, they do handle paper, but we might sometimes quarantine that paper, but there really isn't too much exchange of that. Lucia, who's also on our staff here, she does a good job of procuring all of our supplies and making sure that we have everything that we need. So maybe I'm just kind of the oddball in the group, but I don't really think that COVID has really impacted our operations that heavily. We've just had to readjust the way we do some stuff.
Great. Yeah, we've run into still quite a few that were able to reopen their lobbies quickly, and we're utilizing, email for document submission and so forth. So that's great. It also depends on the state. Different states have had different responses, which has been interesting from our standpoint, just to see kind of what many of them are doing across the country.
Yeah. The Rio Grande Valley, we're way down at the bottom of Texas, down along the border. And so for a while there, I think we were #1, or we were that hot spot in the nation. But I think we're just vigilant. We live in a county that is very proactive. And so we've just been following the guidelines, and everything's been working pretty well for us, thank God.
Looks like Billy is joining us. Here she's coming in.
Yay.
So she's. I hope I pronounced this correctly. Is it Adia
Yes,
from
ma'am.
Odessa? Oh, can you tell us a little bit about what you guys have been doing in Odessa?
Well, for now, we've been using pickup box and drop-off boxes because we're not letting our clients come into the office as of yet. So, and it's been working. It's been working pretty well. We're still mailing out renewals and, letting our letters, our material that's coming in from the outside, our paperwork, just kind of sit there for, she does pickups. The receptionist does pickups a couple of times a day. I'm sorry. Just so it's still a lot of paperwork coming in, but we've got a pickup box and a drop-off box.
It's definitely a different time.
Yes, ma'am. And after we opened, we sent out like 60 letters from the waiting list, so that's been kind of tough on us with the briefings and everything else. So, but it's working out. We're making it work.
Good.
Seen any challenges with your the participants being able to access technology? Is there a digital divide that you're witnessing impacting some of their abilities to communicate back with you?
Yes, sir. We have seen a lot of that. A lot of them aren't we service a lot of the elderly and disabled out here, so that's, that has been a challenge for us, so.
For us too, we have a large elderly population. And so that's why most of our public housing, we still do a lot of in-person intake. But we also have a great, there is something, I think there's a challenge also because a lot of our students don't have access to the internet. So there's a big learning disability there because they're not able to attend school because the internet, the internet.
Yeah, it's all that digital divide has always been there. It's just become much more apparent now.
Yes, yes.
I'm actually chairman of the board of the San Antonio Public Library. We're based out of San Antonio, and so we're obviously a large library association, and we're able to have those MiFi devices, little cellular MiFi devices that we're able to check out, allow families
Yeah.
to check them out. We're using some of the COVID monies that we got, which was very little, but for those types of things. Yeah, very challenging for people. That's probably, I think that's why we've been getting a lot of interest from other housing authorities that are seeing that digital divide and needing to have some sort of a stopgap measure during this, during COVID, and also for future, allowing people to have access, through a kiosk to ready access to not just the housing information and not just being able to scan and upload their documents via the kiosk, but also we have workforce development links on the kiosk, so people can actually get job information and find out how to fill out, job applications via the kiosk. So it's interesting how this whole crisis has moved people in a direction of trying to be creative of how to continue to serve clients in an extremely dynamic environment, right? Things are changing rapidly. But they're also seeing that, that people are going to be expecting to have these types of access to technology in the future, right? So we've heard some executive directors tell us, like, yeah, at first I thought we were going to use whatever technology we're using, whether it's a kiosk or other things, just for COVID. And now we're realizing once a person recognizes they can do everything they need to at the kiosk and not have to come to our central office or whatever, why would they go back to doing the old way, now? So it's kind of like so many things. I mean, I think many of us, even when this, God willing, this virus and this COVID subsides, we'll probably still be utilizing these types of ways to communicate, right? It's not like we'll stop Zooming altogether, but so very interesting what this has done for so many organizations.
Yeah, and with this like older generation, used to it was like something that they could kind of get away with not dealing with this new technology stuff. But now since this pandemic has hit, you're kind of forced to really get on this technology ball. And it's a crazy time right now.
Yeah, everyone's being forced to leave their comfort zones. And recognizing they can survive.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Today, my 89-year-old mother has had a cell phone for a year. It took me a year to get her to use it, and now she wouldn't give it up for all the tea in China.
Yeah, that's funny. I never in a million years thought that we would be doing a conference online, like, ever. That's just something that would have never even popped in my head, but here we are.
Right.
So anything else that you can think of? Or anybody else? Have anything else they might want to? Billy was in here and then she left us, so.
Yeah. Well,